Hey there, Fit Fam. Welcome to the only podcast where we're breaking the mold and rewriting the rules. I'm here to debunk the myths, spill the tea, and serve a hefty dose of reality. No matter where you're at in your journey, we've got something for everybody. So buckle up because we're about to unleash the basics in the most unapologetic way possible. From shedding pounds to embracing your inner badass, I'm here to remind you that skinny is so last season and the basics are anything but boring. So grab your favorite piece of protein and your water bottle and get ready to be empowered, entertained, and educated because being a basics bitch has never looked this good. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Don't Call Me Skinny. Super excited to be here with you today again. No matter where you're at, if you're cleaning toilets, listen to me walking on that treadmill, riding home from work, riding to work, wherever you're at, I just appreciate your ears. If you could do me a solid and you like my podcast, if you could screenshot this, share it with a friend, share it with aunt, cousin, sister, mom, lady friend, coworker, best friend, whoever, somebody you don't even like, but know that they need this, that would be great. I don't discriminate. So I just wanted to get that out there. I am word of mouth only. So without you screenshotting and sharing it, I don't get around. And my podcast needs to get around. So one thing I am going to talk about here real quick is Basics On Demand. It is live. The link is in the show notes. You can get in there. Please understand it is already filling up. So here's the deal. It's at a launch price currently right now. After 50 people are in, that launch price goes bye-bye, okay? And we are about a fifth of the way there at this point. So if you want in on this launch price, once those first 50 people sign up, that is it. The price will increase. So just get in there on the freaking launch price because it's absolutely worth it. How I know it's worth it? I received a message from somebody. I don't know who you are. You are not previously in my world. You are brand new and I appreciate you. But I got this message yesterday from somebody who hadn't even been in there for 24 hours. My dog is barking. My kids are at Cedar Point. My dog does not like to be by himself. And anyways, she said, "Hi, Sarah. This is a message she sent me. I just watched a few of your videos and have learned quite a few things already. Looking forward to this journey. This is not just about here's some training program for you to do. It's also about understanding, learning, educating yourself. There's master classes. There's a database. There's a community, all sorts of things. Please understand this is a bigger picture than just some fitness app, some training app, okay? It's way bigger than that. So if you want in under the first 50, after that, the launch price goes bye-bye. And it basically doubles. It's going to double in price. So you just want to get in. There's no reason not to. It's silly if you're on this health journey. Okay. So that being said, I want to talk about my mission to 180. And I've been pretty transparent about my journey. Last June, I believe sometime, I did an entire episode of like feeling like a fraud. And I'm not going to lie, I've talked about this recently where I'm still feeling this way. I've still been feeling very in misalignment with what I'm doing. And I'm just going to be super honest. I just haven't been honest. I haven't been transparent about the situation that I'm in, where I'm really at. And then most importantly, fucking just owning it. Really just accepting that no matter hiring a coach, not hiring a coach, no matter this, no matter what, whatever. I put on 30 pounds of weight, majority of it probably fat, in a very short amount of time. And at the end of the day, that is on me. I have to accept this. But then I got into my head and like, oh, I can't tell people how much I weigh because they're going to think that I don't know what I'm talking about or I don't know what I'm doing. And I started to get what we call in our space, imposter syndrome. You probably experience this when it comes to fitness and self, especially if you're not familiar with the gym and you try to go into the gym and you don't know what to do, or you don't feel like you belong, or you feel like you're too overweight, or you feel like you're too this, or you're not enough of this, or you're not fit enough to be in the gym, right? That's imposter syndrome. Right? It's your belief of not fitting in. That's essentially what imposter syndrome is. And so I've been having this belief. I've been having this feeling of imposter syndrome, having this feeling of I'm too scared to just show the truth, to show who I am, to show up as is. And as I talk a lot about my different, mentorships and stuff, obviously, people get really butthurt when you like, quote unquote, in our industry, like steal ideas and imitate and copy and whatever else. But I'm a firm believer, just like anything else, if something is being done and it like makes sense to you, then why reinvent the wheel? Just make it your own, right? This is a lot like even in the fitness industry, We see this all the time. It's like, yes, this process is individualized, even though there's some generalities that we want to take into consideration. So yeah, do you know how many people count their macros? Thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of women count their macros. That doesn't mean everybody's macros are the same. That doesn't mean everybody's goals are the same, right? There is ambiguousness throughout. I don't think that's a word, but there is generality throughout things or commonalities, and then there's specifics, right? So I happen to see this one person that I know doing something similar to my Mission 180. And this is something where I wanted to show this process in a way that made sense, in a way that I could share my own experience, but also educate and teach and guide people on their own experience and understand like what you're experiencing is actually normal. What you're experiencing makes sense. And here I am showing you how I use the basics to get to my health goals. And just so you know, I struggle with the same shit, or the same shit happens to me, and you're not alone. Okay. That's really the biggest piece of this, is you're not alone in the process. And that's what I'm really trying to showcase. So if you don't follow me on social media, please go follow me. It's _basics_b_ on Instagram, Sarah J. Krieger on Facebook. All the links are in the show notes. Please just go follow me and join in my Mission to 180. And what I'm doing is I took something that is, I want to kind of say my vice, or like my really hard to say no to thing, not because I can't have it or because I'm not allowed to have it, but because I was having it too often. It was something that I was making an excuse to have, or it was also something that I was using as a tool to cope. And I want to find something else to cope with. I don't want to use constant caramel ice caps from Tim Hortons. Number one, they're kind of expensive. But number two, I don't want to constantly use that to cope. I don't want to constantly be using alcohol to cope. I don't want to constantly be, using food. But man, caramel ice caps, sometimes check-in day can be a little bit stressful. So I was like, I'll just go get a caramel ice cap before I start check-ins, and it'll just make me feel good, right? And I think that we can use these things with variance and with some type of guardrail or guide. But I I hit that guardrail, and I fell off the cliff. And it was like a daily thing. And at the crux of it, then I have to get honest with myself, is like, but why am I not getting where I want to go? Why am I not losing the quote unquote weight that I want to lose? Well, okay, 150 to 70 calories every single day is just taken up in a caramel ice cap. And that's, you're only getting about 17-ish hundred averaging. That leaves you with about 1,450 to 1,500 for food. Well, that's not a lot of fucking food. That's a lot. I can have a lot of food for 170 to 200 calories, like 150 to 200. That's a lot of food for me, because I will pick low calorie, higher volume foods, higher in protein, right? I also wasn't hitting my protein goals. Why? Well, because I was spending quote unquote money, AKA calories, on things that did not serve me. So there you have it. Okay. And so I chose a caramel ice cap solely because, one, again, not because I can't have it or I shouldn't have it or it's bad for me, because I was using it as a coping mechanism. I was using it as a tool, and I'm tired of it. I was over it. I kept telling myself, not again. And then I'd go do it again. Not again. I'd go do it again. How many times have you been in that situation where you're like, okay, I'm not going to go get that donut, but then you get it again. I'm not going to get that donut on the way to work. I'm going to do it again. I'm not going to stop at 7-Eleven and get the 3 energy drinks and what we used to call a brick, which is like a cream-filled donut that looks literally like a brick. I'm not going to do that again. And then the next day and the next day. And to be quite frank, they're not effing cheap. And I also found out that Tim Hortons, because they are franchised, every place is different. So sometimes I would only pay like $3.50 for one. And other times I was paying upwards of $4.10. I was like, what? And I was like, why am I even doing this? So anyways, long story short, I picked caramel ice cap. I picked that as my thing, that until I reach 180 pounds or I get 5,000 followers. Hence why I want you to go follow me, please. And I'm still quite far away from any of that. I want to make myself do this. I want to give myself this challenge. I want to show up for myself in a way that I can be proud. And I'm going to tell you this, being able to just literally rip the cloth, take the the mask off of like me trying to be somebody or not allowing people to see what I truly look like because I'm embarrassed because I don't look like a quote unquote trainer anymore because I have fat on my body. All of this stuff, like it was like a whole new like person. I felt like this weight was just ripped off of me. And I finally feel like I'm in alignment with my message. I'm in alignment with my content. I'm in alignment with my health. I focus on the basics. I am doing the basics imperfectly. If you haven't gone and watched my reels, I am on, I think, day 6 today. Day 7 is tomorrow. And I just feel so much better by just showing you this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. This is what I teach. This is why this is important. And that's it. And I don't have to make it mean something. I don't have to go all crazy about whatever. My content right now is fucking so simple. It is so simple. It's me talking about my stats each day and then talking about either something that I'm feeling, something that happened to me, like the scale going up, or staying the same or just not going down, how weight loss isn't linear, how cheat meals don't work for me, how all these things, right? Like it doesn't, that part necessarily doesn't matter. It's just, I just go in and talk about this is what's on my heart today. This is what I want somebody to learn today. This is what I want to share today. And man, that has made this process so much easier. Could you imagine yourself just owning your story? Just own your story and having the ability to just show up who you are, who you desire to, like who you want to be, who you currently are, and not having to make it mean anything or not having to shame or guilt yourself or not have to do anything like that. You just get to be who you are and show the world that version of yourself. Do you know how much better that would feel for you? Do you understand how much more forward movement you would get, how much momentum you would get just from being honest with yourself about who you are, about where you're wanting to go, and about the things that you're going to have to do in order to get there? Man, I am frustrated at moments when I look back the last almost 2 years and think, how did it take me so long to get to this spot? Why did it take so long? And here's what I'm going to tell you. Everything that I have gone through in the last year and a half to almost 2 years at this point has only been making me stronger for a bigger future. It has only made me stronger for a bigger future. What does that even mean? You can make it mean whatever you want it to mean, right? I could sit here and continuously self-sabotage and buy caramel ice caps every day and drink every night and do all these things and eat all the potato chips and all the whatevers all the time until the cows come home if I truly wanted to do that. But the real thing is that I don't truly want to do that. I'm telling myself, and I had been telling myself that it's fine. You can do these things because you're not as lean as you were. So it doesn't matter if you drink alcohol anymore or how often you drink it or how much of it you drink. It's fine if you just get a caramel ice cap. Like remember that you're showing balance. Remember you're showing how you live in a balanced life, quote unquote balance. I don't really like that word. Remember that you're showing, you're showing your people, you're showing your audience, you're showing your clients how to live. So you can drink a caramel ice cap every single day. That is not actually in alignment with what I do. If I had a client who was like me, struggling to lose weight, and yet was purchasing caramel ice caps every day, and then getting all up in their head about why is it not working? I don't understand. What's wrong with me? Oh, it must be the scale. It must be my hormones. It must be the blah, blah, blah. And I went there a few times. I was like, yeah, maybe I'm insulin resistant, because I'll say this, when you put on a lot of weight really quick like that, you can actually put yourself into a resistance of insulin. However, that being said, that's not why I can't lose weight. Okay? People who are insulin resistant can still lose weight if they're in a calorie deficit. It's typically slower, longer. Typically for a period of time, your carbs are lower. There's a lot of things going on there. Okay. But I found myself, maybe I need to change the batteries in my scale. Yeah, that's probably it. I found myself making the same excuses you guys make, except I know it's not my hormones for me personally. I know I can't blame my hormones. My gut probably needs some work. I'm not even going to lie, but that's not the reason I can't lose weight. The reason I can't lose weight is because I'm fucking dishonest with myself. And I have been until I said, I have to show the world this is who I am today. That's who I'm trying to be. And it's not that I'm trying to be the person that weighs 180 pounds. Here's the deal. And here's why I chose 180. I want to be really clear here. The leanest I'd ever been, and this is about as transparent I've been on my actual scale weight, if we're going to be super honest, okay? The leanest I ever been was 150, I think it was 7 pounds, something in the 157 or 158. And the honest to God truth is I don't know if I could actually get that low again on the scale. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to try to get to who I was, because remember, I'm not the person that I was 4 years ago. I'm a different person now. I'm not trying to get back to be her. I want to get to this other version, this other level of who I am today. So I'm going to go to about 180 pounds and see what happens. Maybe I feel really good and I feel like I look really good at 180 pounds. That is highly fucking possible. That is highly possible that I just might be happy at 180 pounds. And I don't have to go lower than that. Because here's what else I know. Else I know. The people who are looking at other people and you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I was her. Oh my gosh, I totally I want to be her. God, I wish I had her thighs. Oh my gosh, I wish I had her abs. Oh my gosh, I wish I had her. Look how her arms don't have that flabby jab that waves for days. Like, oh my gosh, I wish I had all these things. Never once when I see women post on Facebook, do you then also follow that with, yeah, but how much do you weigh? What size pants do you wear? No. The only thing that you envy or desire to do is to look like that person. Not even knowing that that person probably carries more weight than you could probably imagine. And you would be fucking mind blown if you found out how much that person actually weighed on a scale. And you would be like, what? How is that possible? That's because they have muscle. Okay. So I don't know what I'm going to look like at 180 pounds. Now, during that bulk phase or build phase, I did put on mass. I did put on muscle. And here's how I know it. This is what I'm telling you right now. As I'm losing fat, even just this last week, because I know I'm losing. I already know I'm losing. My weight is trending down. I'm starting to see it happen, even within 6 days. That doesn't mean you're going to. I want to be also super clear. Do not compare yourself to my story. Do not compare your journey to me. Okay. I have a lot more education. I have a lot more awareness around what I'm supposed to be looking for. It's a very different situation. The majority of you women who are listening to this do not have the objectiveness. I don't think that's a word either. To do that for yourself. Your little reticulating activator system or whatever the heck that thing's called in your brain. It's going to filter out all the good shit. It's going to filter out all the things that I'm starting to see in myself right now, because I'm going to tell you this. Guess where I'm focused? I'm focused on the good things. So guess what I'm going to see? The things that are changing, the good things. I'm no longer focused on the poor me, want, got a fat roll, want, It's fine, right? That little reticulating activating system in your brain is a filter, and it filters you. Because do you know how much your brain would have to actually process if it was trying to process everything, right? So basically, if you've ever gone and bought a new car or seen somebody wearing something similar, maybe to something clothes-wise that you just bought, it's because your filter in your brain, and it's an actual thing, the RAS, is actually filtering out everything else and focusing on the thing that you're focused on. You buy a red truck, all of a sudden you see red trucks. You buy a green van, all of a sudden you see green vans. You buy a silver car, all of a sudden you see silver at cars everywhere. That's a real thing. Your RAS is real. It will filter. So when I say that I'm noticing things now, even within the last 6 days, partially because that's my focus. I'm focusing on all the things I am doing that are changing versus on all the negative bullshit that I've been focusing on. Okay. I don't care what the number says anymore. I don't care how much weight I put on during a build phase with a coach. I don't care. What I care about is where am I at right now? Where am I going? That is my focus. That's what I care about. Right. So I'm already seeing, back to my original point out of all of that, which is how I know that I'm going to look different at 180 pounds now than then is because I've had almost 8 years of putting mass onto my body. Even though I was losing weight, I was still building muscle. And then I did this building phase and I'm already seeing shifts now that I wasn't seeing until a much leaner self, probably by about 10 pounds when I originally took off those 250 pounds. Well, I mean, coming down from 250, right? Where I was at 194 before is not where I'm at now. I don't look the same now that I did then. My legs are much leaner. My stomach is much leaner. My arms might not be, actually. I tend to gain a lot of fat in my arms and in my face first. That's where I typically go. And then my belly. Okay. My legs will lean out the fastest, the first. That was exactly what happened to me last time. It's already happening. I was able to wear a pair of pants this past Saturday, that I wasn't able to wear May 21st. It matters. All the little things start adding up. All of it matters, but I'm focused on the positive change. I'm focused on the things that I can do something about. I cannot take fat off faster than what I'm doing. If I try to go in more of a deficit, if I try to slice my calories and just hit it and quit it and get it done, I will not be successful because I cannot do that. I did it for so many years. I don't have to do that. And guess what? It's not a fucking race. I mean, if I don't have another caramel ice cap for another year, so be it. I'm okay with that. I went into that, giving that up, knowing I'm okay with that. I don't need it. I don't need to have it. If I want a different kind of coffee, I can go, but just caramel ice caps slap for me. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they put in there. I don't know. They just slap. I love them. No, I don't care about your little Starbucks Frappuccino and your Dunkin' Donuts, whatever, frappe. I don't care about that. And it's actually really funny because my kids are right now, they're in Cedar Point with dad. And I was supposed to take off this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and also go down, but we didn't have anybody watch our dog. So that's shitty really fast. But here's what I'm going to say. My daughter literally said, "Hey, Mom," I said, "Yeah." She said, "Don't go buy those caramel ice caps. You know, nobody's going to be here. Nobody's going to see." And I said, "Jaden, I'm not going to do that. You want to know why?" And she said, "Why?" I said, "Because that's not integrity with what I'm doing. That's not integrity with my brand. It's not who I am. I'm not going to go and buy a caramel ice cap." That's also why I didn't give up something that was like, oh, I'm just going to cave. Like ice cream. I'm not giving up ice cream. It's not even realistic for me, right? I don't even eat it that often. Honestly, I don't even eat ice cream anymore. I used to be literally, you could probably milk me. I used to eat ice cream that much. I loved ice cream. I still love ice cream. It's just every now and again, I want ice cream. And if I want it, I want to be able to have it because it's not something that I eat all of the time. Caramel ice caps, they are fucking expensive. And I actually don't need them. I really don't need to have, it's almost like habit. Like I created a habit to go get it, to cope, to make me feel better because it tasted good. Whatever in the moment was the reason that I chose, it was like I always had to make a reason why I had to go get it. Oh, I have to go have that caramel ice cap. Oh, I got to go have the caramel ice cap. Oh, I got to go have a caramel ice cap. Because insert this reason, insert that reason, insert this reason, insert that reason. So it became an excuse. If I want to go get ice cream, I'm just going to go get ice cream. I don't care. It doesn't affect my life that much anymore. Like it used to have a really big hold on me, ice cream. It did. But now I could go have it. Like if I want it for dinner tonight, it's just me. I could go take my happy butt to go get some frozen custard, have a frozen custard dinner and move on with my life. And I'm totally fine with that. I'm not going to hit my goals. I am not going to hit my protein, but I am fine with it. It's going to be what it's going to be. So this is Mission 180. This is why I'm doing this. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight to your own story. Hopefully this gives you a little insight on how to take this first step. No, I'm not telling you to give up something and take to social media and, do all these things, right? I'm focusing on specific basics, which are steps, water, protein, rest, because that's something I'm really working on is my rest and doing things and taking time for myself. Okay, that's a huge thing for me right now. So those 4 things. Sleep is an optional, like something I am paying attention to because I want to, and it's important, but it's not like this like hard pressed basic that I'm crazy focused on. So my actual basics really right now is protein, steps. I have it written down. Here we go. Steps, water, weight, protein, sleep, and rest. So sleep is that optional one. So steps, water, weight, and rest. Steps, water, weight, protein, rest. Maybe I'll get it right once. Either way, that's not what I'm telling you to do. I'm not telling you to go do 17 things at once. I can do that. Again, don't compare yourself and don't start where I'm starting if you're not 9 years into this. Having already understand how to show up consistently, how to show up, how to not give a shit about the scale, how to not do cheat days, and understanding nuance and being able to live in the gray and going over your calories and not making it mean something about you. Like, if you're not in a place to do that, this is not what I'm recommending you do. What I am recommending that you do, number 1, is join Basics On Demand. That's number 1. Outside of that, number 2, pick one thing. I talk about this so much. Pick one thing. Pick 2 things if you want to. And it's actually interesting because I had this group, I talked about her last week where we got on a call and she said she was so overwhelmed she couldn't even pick one thing. And you want to know why she was so overwhelmed? Because she has let her health go so far. She said, Sarah, I don't think that I can just pick one. I have to do something now. She feels so overwhelmed with where she's at because she has put it off for so long that she is in this position where she cannot wait. And she doesn't feel like she can wait. She feels like she has to change everything today. Do not wait till you get to that place. And if you're feeling like you're in that place like she is, we picked 2 to 3 things. We also noticed that although she told me, I'm so busy, I don't have time, there's about 2 to 3 hours she's spending on her phone. And it was an honest conversation. And I didn't have to sit here and go, oh my God, I can't believe you told me you were literally like so busy and now you just all of a sudden have 2 to 3 hours a day where you just pull out of your ass. No, I get it. We don't even sometimes pay attention because that is how we disassociate. That's why I do nothing on socials anymore for my business. Nothing I do is on Facebook, Instagram, anything, nothing. Everything is off socials. Telegram, my training app, and my private one-on-one little communication. Like it's similar to Slack. That's what I do. Because that's all we do on our phones is disassociate. That's all we do on social media is just we try to escape our reality. So I no longer do anything on socials. So it wasn't me getting on her. It's like, oh, okay. Well, where do you think you want to start then? Like, where do you think you want to pull time from? What makes most sense in your day? What feels the easiest actually to pull time from? Because if you're going to tell me like nighttime, man, it's just really like, if I don't do that, everything's off. My sleep's off, then my next day's off. Well, that's not what I want to do then. So where can we pull from? You get to be the deciding person. I'm just going to be here to hold you to it, to see how it's going and to help you work through that piece. That's my job. Literally my job. And she was feeling so overwhelmed. And then after our call, I checked in with her the day after. And I said, how are you feeling after our call? Oh my gosh, so much better. That was so great. Thank you so much for taking all this time for me. At the end of the day, my job is to help. I want you to be successful. I desire for you to want this bad enough for yourself that you can do this. I believe in you. I think it's possible for you. You have to now dig in and do the work. Right? So, Mission 108, Mission 180, not 108. Good Lord, please, no. I'm never weighing that. I will never weigh that. It would not be good for me. I would be very sick if I weighed that. Mission 180, join in, follow along, post on my stuff, help me out, encourage me, because I'm not different than any other human being. I love the encouragement. I love if I can resonate with somebody. I love if you say, oh my gosh, thank you for posting this. It makes me feel so seen. Thank you for sharing that with me. So if that's you and you're listening to this and you hear this podcast or you see a reel of mine come across the webs of wherever, please reach out and say, thank you so much. I just want to know that what I'm doing is helping. I want to know that what I'm doing is, quote unquote, like ice caramel caps for me, slapping. Oh, does it slap for you? Does it make sense? Okay. I will catch you guys on Friday No Filter. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week, and I will catch you later. Thanks so much for listening today. If you laughed, learned, or just felt a vibe, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Your support keeps this ass train chugging along. If you're ready to embrace the basics with a twist, follow me on social media. Links are in the show notes, and let's see the ways we can work together. All right, basics bitches, you're not just listeners, you're part of the revolution. Remember, skinny's out, basics are in, and you're looking damn good doing it. So until next time, stay basic.